welcome. Thank you so much for joining me this week for my podcast show, Nichelle Anderson Short Stories and Beyond. And for this of December, I decided to do what I'm calling the shorts of short stories. So these are very shorter pieces, and I'm releasing the full because hey, it's a short scene. We will be focusing on MOLIAE, continuing this part of the first part of my second season. So in this week podcast, it is entitled for the month of December, Shorts of Short Stories. And just to kind of go over a couple of things with my podcast that I'd like to cover before I get into my episode. So this is considered to be a premium podcast, and normally I release clippets, but in the month of December, as I mentioned earlier, I'm releasing the full short because it's a very short of a short. And going forward after this month, it pretty much will go back to the clippet of the full. To get the full short story when I release that, you can connect to be a patron on my Patreon page, and you will see a link of that in here. Then this production of MOLIAE is based on my book Mitsrayim. It's a memoir. It's now a theatrical production where I did episodes, a short film, and a stage play, and kind of involved into this podcast, as well as I do other theme stories. But for the most part, it's based on the Mitsrayim book that I wrote, which is MOLIAE, the theatrical production. Now, currently that production, as I like to continue to give an update for the prestige return of MOLIAE stage play. And once I know the dates of that, I will announce that. So thank you so much for joining me today. I got that out the way. So let's get started. This would definitely be a short episode, but again, you will get the full, and it will be another piece to this saga doing the podcast timeline. Okay. All right. So let's get started for this particular week, December the 3rd. So we're moving on, completing year 2018, right? All right. And thank you so much for your support and returning back for my season 2. And I look forward to, as we roll out this month, the end of the year, going into 2019. So let's go with some highlights though before we do start. This particular episode is entitled Episode 39, Nontu Moves Forward, amongst others, wherein this full short of a short details the advancement forward that Nontu is going to focus on beyond the impending threat of his superiors that's pretty much on his tail, right? Lanko is out there. Lanko's definitely somehow, some way is going to catch up to Nontu. And it's regarding the disappearance of Ecko. So in this particular episode, we pick up with Nontu and move forward from that. Now, last week, just to recap for my last week, it was the director clip notes from 32 to 33. It was last week was director clip notes from 32 to 33, in which the title episodes were episode 32, With Moments of Love and Mitsrayim, and episode 33, Truth Stands Tall Amongst Falsehood of Thee. Okay, so with that done and said, let's move on. Okay, let's begin. For this week of my season 2 podcast show, Nichelle Anderson Short Stories and Beyond, for the month of December special, Short of a Shorts Stories. The full version for this episode will be provided, and this will be episode 39, entitled Nontu Moves Forward, amongst others. Opening scene. In the secret hideaway from the newly enclaved in the southern part of the Sudan, we see Nontu with 4 of his military guards of his reign order of Asiwo. Nontu was walking behind a herbalist of the Sinee tribe from those days of old, but wise enough to attend to the wounds or injuries of war. Within moments, they enter the domain of the unknown person that started the betrayal of Nontu against Ecko, due to not agreeing to use what Nontu discovered from Otin of the Western tribal leaders against King Milan of Mitsrayim. There were 2 guards guarding the entrance of the person held captive by Nontu, The herbalist motioned the guards to let them in, and they did. There was an older person slightly moaning in sleep, resting on a tall cot of somewhat comfort. The herbalist motioned the two to come closer as he spoke in small tones of speech regarding the wellness of the prisoner. The herbalist paused as he went to a shoulder injury of the man laid before them and motioned to the clothing marking of his identity. Nontu noticed, and he spoke directly to the herbalist. "What is your concern?" The herbalist responded, but persistent, to explain his concern. "He is a Mitsrayim. He's very strong. In the coming days, he will be able to stay awake and make movement. Mitsrayims of him are known to do and be more than what others can." Nontu resisted, interrupting his thoughts to him of any possible defeat. Nontu spoke. "There is no need for concern of his rank in Mitsrayim. We will move forward as planned. This is my gem to secure Mitsrayim under my control. Keep on with the healing of him. I do see the runes and inner strength coming forth. I see he will stay awake in the moments coming to now." The herbalist nodded as Nontu turned to leave with his military guards, before stating to one of his military high rank, "Guard of the first reign." Nontu turned slightly to him as they continued to walk further away from the room that they left into the darkness of the hallway, of the pathway. "Send word to Otin and Sanel that he is getting well. Soon, General Tukkan will speak before us." End scene.